2 decades after Carthage lost the First Punic War, Hannibal was now a soldier, the leader of his nation's military. He was 25 years old and already a great warrior. Fresh from the conquest of Spain, he reminded his troops of his promise to punish Rome.
Year after year you have fought with me and won. Steel your hearts to march forward, to halt only at the walls of Rome.
But attacking Rome wouldn't be easy. No longer in control of the Mediterranean, Hannibal would have to make the journey by land, crossing the Alps with 40,000 men and 37 elephants. Autumn, 218 BC. Man and beast trudge for months over cruel terrain. Their serpentine parade stretches more than 15 miles. Hannibal's troops are professional soldiers, well-equipped and well-trained, and yet the long journey takes a grim toll. When they finally make it through the mountains, 1/3 of Hannibal's men are dead. Most of the horses and all but one of the elephants have perished, and yet the survivors march on. Even before the first battle, Romans see Hannibal as a potent threat.
They never had to face a fiercer or more warlike foe. Carthage had long been an enemy of Rome, and they were bringing with them countless Spaniards, already battle-hungry, and would soon be raising Gauls with their insatiable appetite for blood. War was coming, and it would be fought in Italy in defense of the walls of Rome. Living.
The Roman Senate raised 6 new legions, more than 30,000 men. The Second Punic War was begun. This time the deciding factor wouldn't be manpower, but strategy. Most Roman commanders were political appointees with little battlefield experience, no match for a military genius like Hannibal.
Hannibal had a spark. I mean, he had many things that made him a great leader. I mean, he knew how to motivate troops, he knew how to innovate on the battlefield, he knew how to make the optimum use of the tools at his command. But in addition to that, he had that spark. He had the ability to read an enemy and find that one maneuver that would cause the enemy to collapse.
In battle after battle, Hannibal humiliated the Roman legions. The most devastating defeat was the Battle of Cannae. Here, Hannibal, though badly outnumbered, managed to surround the Romans and slaughtered them. 50,000 Romans, more than half the entire Roman military, killed in the worst defeat Rome ever suffered. At last, Rome saw Hannibal for what he was, the first true threat to her survival. For 15 long years, the war against Hannibal dragged on, and large areas of southern Italy defected to him. Hannibal never lost a single battle, and many wondered how long it would be before he attacked the city of Rome.
It was widely expected, of course, that he would take the city, but Rome was heavily fortified. Hannibal seems to have not had proper siege equipment. No matter how many armies of the Romans and their allies Hannibal could defeat, the Romans were always able to raise new armies, to put new armies into the field, and ultimately Hannibal failed to take the city.
And yet the tide didn't turn against Hannibal until the Senate called up a military leader in the same league with the legendary Carthaginian. Publius Cornelius Scipio had the cunning and the charisma to match the so-called Scourge of Rome. The son of a general and a survivor of the Battle of Cannae, the young Scipio studied Hannibal's tactics closely. Then in 204 BC, rather than confront Hannibal in Italy, Scipio had a brilliant but risky plan, an end run. He sailed to Africa and invaded the empire of Carthage. Carthage was forced to respond, recalling Hannibal from his 17-year torment of Italy. It was the moment of truth. Scipio and Hannibal would fight a single battle to decide the Second Punic War, the Battle of Zama. The two armies gathered forces in the countryside of what is now central Tunisia. Outside the ancient city of Zama, Scipio confronted his arch-rival, Hannibal. It's believed the two men met face to face just before the ultimate battle in an attempt to make peace. Scipio refused Hannibal's terms, saying to his rival, "Prepare for war, since evidently you have found peace intolerable." The two sides were well matched, with about 34,000 men each, but there were crucial differences. Hannibal had been resupplied with 80 of his dreaded elephants, but Scipio had drilled his troops in new tactics for dealing with the great beasts. The Roman troops would form long corridors to funnel the charging elephants away from the front lines where they do the most damage. Scipio also had the support of thousands of local Numidian cavalry who defected from Hannibal. Renowned as the best cavalry in the world, the horsemen added to Scipio's edge. Scipio finally and soundly defeated Hannibal at Zama. Carthage was crippled. Carthage was forced to hand over all but 10 of her warships, all her elephants, and a treasure so great it would take 20 years to pay.